recently, I took my FJ09 in for some warranty work that I had been procrastinating on, and there's really no reason for it. But the problem that I had with it, and really, in almost 3 years, this is really the only thing that the only issue that I ever took it in for. And luckily, well, maybe not luckily, when I bought the bike, I paid for the Yamaha extended service plan, so it's good until 2021. But the rear shock, right up by the rear point, closest to the rear wheel, I'll put in a photo. The rear shock at all the weld points was starting to rust, and obviously I'm in Arizona and I've never ridden in the rain, and I think it only rains like 5 or 10 days a year anyways. But it was, it was rusted at all the welds, and for one thing, it was just kind of unsightly, and I've not seen anything else on the bike corrode at all, and I think that was just from me washing it. So I took it over to the dealer, the Ride Now in Goodyear, near where I live, and they acted like they really didn't care. They didn't really want to look at it too much, but they went ahead and they submitted it to Yamaha for a warranty replacement of the rear shock, and of course Yamaha denied it. So a couple days later, I took the bike back up to Peoria Ride Now, where I bought it, and I went in there with my warranty, and I was just going to cancel my warranty and get the rest of it refunded, because my thinking was, well, this warranty is absolutely useless. Well, one of their managers came down. He asked me why I was doing that, so I told him, and so he walked me over to the service department and talked to their service manager, and they looked at it and took some photos of it and submitted it, and a couple of days later it was approved. So about a week after that, the shock came in, and I went in to the dealer, and they changed it in about an hour. And reason I'm talking about this is because I've seen a lot of comments and a lot of stuff on the forums of just talking about how crappy and how much junk the original suspension on the Yamaha is. And I'm going to say that is just not true. I mean, it's not. The stock suspension has room for improvement. I mean, it could be better, but I mean, it's adjustable for rebound, and it's adjustable for preload. But unlike the high end, it's not adjustable for compression damping or variable dampening, high speed versus low speed dampening. It doesn't have any of that. But really, for regular street riding, I have to say that it's really not bad. A lot of the comments that I've seen was mostly from people just repeating what they heard from someplace else, most likely without even looking. I mean, there's keyboard warriors everywhere, and so. But I'm here to tell you that, I mean, I've got 14,000 miles on the bike, and the suspension really works for me. I had to adjust it, and I think that the front suspension could really use some heavier springs, because as I understand it, the bike was designed for a 150-pound rider, and I'm 6 foot 230 pounds, and then throw gear on top, then it's a little bit more weight. So I need some stronger springs, but right now it works pretty good. But I have the preload set to maximum. But suspension sag is at 40 millimeters in the front, 40 millimeters in the back, which is exactly what you want with the preload set as it is. So I really don't have to do anything. But while I was waiting on the rear shock, I decided that I was going to do kind of a refresh on my front. So to do that, I have to remove the forks, and it really wasn't as hard of a job as I thought it was going to be. I did have to suspend the front end, and all I did, I just put some books under the I set it on the center stand and put some books under the skid plate, and it held the front end up. And you do have to disassemble some. You have to take off all the plastics to get to the fasteners, but it entails removing the brake calipers and suspending those with bungee cords. And I may do a video when I do it next time. I mean, if you really want to see that the next time I do it, just leave some comments, and if not, I mean, there are other videos out there. No point in reproducing what's already out there. But so just changing the oil. Now I know that, having been an engineer, oil after a while does wear. I mean, just from heat cycles and being used, the oil being forced through smaller orifices in the shocks, and you have metal on metal. The oil is actually doing some lubricating properties, so it's getting a little bit of metal particles in the oil, and so it was a good thing just to change it out. So once I got it all apart, this top piece had to be removed, and then I just unscrewed it, and the yellow casing came down, and then I was able to dump the oil into a pan. And the oil really wasn't that dirty. It was kind of like a brown, sort of like a strong iced tea or something. And so I dumped all that out into a pan, and then I captured it in a measuring cup, and then just replaced the same amount of oil that came out, plus just a little bit, because I couldn't get it all out of the pan. And then put it all together, and the rest is history. I mean, on the shock side, on the right side, when I was draining the oil, I did have to drain it and then work the shock a few times to get all the oil out of it. And then once I replaced the oil, I had to work a little bit to get the damping to start working again. So I had to actually lean on it and press it down. But when I replaced the oil, I replaced it not with the factory specified oil. I replaced it with 10 weight, and because I could not find the exact weight of the specified oil. I couldn't find it off of Yamaha or I think it's the forks of Showa. It just specifies a certain type of oil, and some people online have said it was a 0 weight, and some say it was 5 weight, but I replaced it with 10 weight. And the reason why I went with a heavier weight was because I'm heavier weight, and the compression rate on the shock is at a fixed value. It's not adjustable. So by going with a heavier weight oil, I've increased the damping rate just ever so slightly. But after riding it around for a while, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it again. I'm going to do the oil change again, but I'm going to go with a 15 weight oil, just slightly more, because going from original oil to a 10 weight, the bike definitely is an improvement. The rideability, because of my extra weight, because I weigh more than 150 pounds, and I just noticed that normal riding and regular street riding, it was a significant improvement. And previously, see, I put a zip tie here, and just for normal riding, the zip tie was going down quite a bit further, about half as far. And so now I'm not bottoming out. There's no circumstances that through normal riding where I'm bottoming out, but I'm thinking that just to go from a 10 weight to a 15 weight is just kind of a fine tuning, and that's kind of what you do. I mean, that's not what Yamaha says. That's not what Showa says. Sometimes you just have to step outside the box a little bit and do that. But I mean, the guys that sell suspensions will tell you just to throw this away and buy theirs. And a lot of front suspension kits are in the $1,500 range. You know, I was seeing the cheapest ones for around $900, whereas oil is, I think I spent about $12 on oil, and you know, just a simple oil change really makes a difference. And why would you not change your oil? I mean, Yamaha doesn't have a specified time. The service manual tells you how to service the shock, but usually what the dealer was telling me, but nobody ever does that. Nobody ever does it. And really, it took me about 3 hours total, complete time, and that was because I do a lot of cleaning whenever I take the bike apart. But what the dealer was saying was, when I told him that, he said people usually only bring in their bikes for the oil change if the seals blow, and regularly changing the oil will keep the seals in better shape anyways, so they're less likely to blow, or at least they'll last longer, as long as the oil is clean. But I mean, you change your oil in your engine every 3,000 or 5,000 miles. Why wouldn't you change it in the shocks? So, but the rear shock is new and a little bit different, and I can definitely tell right away that it definitely rides better. It's just like having a new one. And so at 14,000 miles, I have a new one. Now, when this one does start to get tired after another 10,000 miles or so, then I will replace it with a serviceable unit, a unit that I can take apart, change the oil, and then that'll be an upgrade. But for now, I'm going to run with the Yamaha shock, and I think I will change the oil in the front forks one more time to a 15 weight, and I think that would put me just about perfect where I want to be. But don't let the people tell you that, these guys on the internet telling you that it's a junk suspension, because it really is not. I mean, there's room for improvement, and it's not a racing suspension. It's not fully adjustable. It's basically it's a basic suspension, and for normal street riding or touring, it's fine. I mean, you just don't need to spend thousands of dollars on that, unless of course that's what you want to do and you just have lots of money to burn, so which I don't. But anyways, I just wanted to throw that out there. Hopefully that helps somebody else with the FJ09, because like I say, I mean, in 3 years, that's the only thing that I've ever taken it in for warranty. I mean, I did replace the chain and sprockets, and I replaced the brakes, but those are normal wear items. Oh, and tires. But it's been a really, really great bike to this point. And I look around at other bikes, and I like them and everything, but there's nothing about this that I really don't like. I mean, it would be kind of nice to have it shaft drive so I don't have to service the chain as often, but then that adds a lot of weight and complexity too. So